Sabyasachi Mittal, founder and MD Falkro, to please join us. He's already on stage to talk more about Potent Brands Behave. Can I have a huge round of applause, please?
Thank you. Could we have a little more volume, please? Well, that was very optimal use of time to cut down on the overshooting of time. So you present the honors and then you start speaking yourself. Okay. So as an agency person, what I'm going to talk about is not what we have done. That's not relevant. But something that has inspired me over the years, 23 years that I've been in marketing. I fundamentally believe that brands are no longer in the Lalitaji phase where you have a product film and you cut to that and people believe, oh, it's the best washing powder, it's going to give me the cleanest clothes. So the topic that I'm going to talk about is how do brands actually talk to consumers today? And as you see more and more startups come up, you will see that there is a completely different way in which brands are talking to consumers. Okay, I don't have the clicker, so if somebody can just change the slide, please. Is there a clicker somewhere? Right, so we'll keep it a little interactive. Do you see a pattern between the brands on the left and the brands on the right? Anyone? You can just shout. It's a small hall. Any pattern? Yes, they're disruptors, but more from how they engage. Okay, we don't have too much time to talk about it. The brands on the right, I call purpose brands. And the brands on the left, I call product brands. Gillette will always talk about why a Mark III razor is the best razor that has ever been built, whereas Dollar Shave Club will say that I will give you a month's shopping or shaving at your home, at your convenience, for $1. So you don't pay for Roger Federer, right? So they say, I solve a problem in your life. Gillette says, I give you the best product. Right? In the same way, Hilton will talk about how luxurious we are, how many restaurants we have. Airbnb doesn't have anything to do with the product. It's about the experience, right? How many of you have stayed in an Airbnb? Quite a few of you. So did you choose an Airbnb because of what facilities were there or because of the reviews that you read? Reviews, right? Now come to Pepsi. However much you do, whatever the swag and whatever else that you try to talk about and pump millions in advertising, what does Red Bull do? They throw a man out of space, right? No advertising. Now that's what I call purpose brands versus product brands. I have 6 fundamental truths that I believe in that I will talk about with one example each. And the first one is that purpose brands don't talk about product differentiation. Purpose brands talk about their values and beliefs. A purpose brand will always have a value deep down at the core of who they are. Think about it this way. A product brand tries to position the product in your mind. A purpose brand tries to position themselves in your lives. Now, who better than Steve Jobs? And this is a very old clipping of Steve Jobs, and I think that sort of encapsulates everything that we may ever want to do if you want to build a purpose brand. And I am an Apple fanboy, so I have no shame in saying that.
To me, marketing is about values. And so we have to be really clear on what we want them to know about us. Now, Apple, fortunately, is one of the half a dozen best brands in the whole world. Right up there with Nike, Disney, Coke, and one of the greatest jobs of marketing the universe has ever seen is Nike. Remember, Nike sells a commodity. They sell shoes. And yet, when you think of Nike, you feel something different than a shoe company. In their ads, as you know, they don't ever talk about the product. They don't ever tell you about their air soles and why they're better than Reebok's air soles. They honor great athletes and they honor great athletics. That's who they are. That's what they are about. And the question we asked was, our customers want to know who is Apple and what is it that we stand for? Where do we fit in this world? And what we're about isn't making boxes, but Apple's about something more than that. Apple, at the core, its core value is that we believe that people with passion can change the world for the better. And that those people that are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones that actually do. But values and core values, those things shouldn't change. And so we wanted to find a way to communicate this. It honors those people who have changed the world. Some of them are living, some of them are not. But the ones that aren't, as you'll see, you know that if they ever used a computer, it would have been a Mac. And
So can anyone guess what was the campaign which came after this? After Steve Jobs came back to Apple? Anyone knows what the campaign is? Think different, yeah. Have you all seen the commercial? Anyone? Mid-1990s? Let's play this for you.
Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them. About the only thing you can't do is ignore them, because they change things. They push the human race forward. While some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do.
You know, I think Steve Jobs not just made this film, but made sure that over the years, Apple did everything differently. I mean, who would have thought a Sony Walkman will be replaced by a digital music player? And the rest of the examples you all know. The second thing that I believe in is that purpose brands, product brands focus on their products, purpose brands focus on their persona. Now, when you think of a persona-led brand, any example which comes to your mind? Have any of you heard of Cybertruck? Yeah? Did you see the live launch of the Cybertruck? I have a small clipping.
Welcome to the Cybertruck unveil. Yeah. What else can we do with this truck? Let's shoot it. Now I'll show you Tesla Alma Glass. Yeah.
Drop it.
Yeah.
Sure?
Yeah. Oh my fucking god. Well, maybe that was a little too hard.
Should we try the mirror?
Sorry? Okay. It didn't go through.
Let's
So
see.
that's a plus side.
Let's try the
All right.
mirror.
Try that one, really? Okay. Sure.
So that's a brand I call with personality. For all you know, Elon Musk may have actually purposely broken that glass to get those millions of viral views, right? $10 billion in pre-sales, not a single ad, 200,000 Cybertrucks booked. No one has even made a commercial on this truck, right? So that's persona. And when you think of Tesla, you don't think of that broken glass, at least in my mind, you think of a floating car in space, right? So that's persona. Purchase brands focus on creating demand to buy the product. Persona brands focus on creating more demand for the use of their product. Now that's very important. Now let's look at an example of a brand that I really love, Sephora. Compare that to MAC. I am the last person to talk about makeup, but still I'm making an effort to put this across. You go to a MAC shop, it's all about products and all about people trying to give you a makeup and try to make you buy that product. Sephora is about helping you to get better looks, variety of looks, change the look every day. They have digital tools, they have mirrors, interactive mirrors. They're not trying to sell the product. Because once I've sold the idea that every day you can look different, you will need to buy different products to get those looks, right? So I sell you the use, I don't sell you the product. The next, purchase brands emphasize on promotion, purpose brands emphasize on advocacy. And the biggest example is Starbucks. You go to Starbucks not to have a coffee, but to socialize, to interact. Okay? Have you ever wondered why people at Starbucks, the baristas, actually ask your name, write it with a pen, and in any Starbucks across the world you go, they will be using the same pen to write it in the same way, and at the end of it, they call out your name. It doesn't happen in India, but when I went to New York, when you call out your name, and I'm having coffee alone, the three other guys said, "Hey Sabya, would you like to join us?" How do they get my name? Because it was announced. They bring advocacy to employees, and from employees to customers. People go to Starbucks, they call each other into Starbucks. Starbucks doesn't need to sell. The last one, and my time's up. Purchase brands worry about what they say to customers. Purpose brands worry. Yeah, I'm wrapping. This is the second last slide. Okay, so the monitor didn't work the last time, so the chit comes. Right, sorry. Okay. Whereas purpose brands worry about what customers say to each other. And again, Airbnb, classic case, we discussed this. Hilton worries about what Hilton tells consumers, and Airbnb worries about what consumers tell each other, right? So that's, broadly speaking, the way I believe a purpose brand and a product brand behave. Now, I leave you with this question, which is always, come to me. I'll skip the last one. Okay, this is Apple. We've talked about Apple. Apple is all about experiences. They don't sell the product, the Genius Bar and everything else. Okay, if you go to an Apple store outside of India, India is not a representation. It's all about experience. They don't care if you buy Apple, but you will. I still bought the iPhone 11 when my 10 was perfectly fine. Right, so I leave you with this question. I'm sure there are many brands over here, and you can ask yourself the question, are you a product brand or are you a purpose brand? And sometimes I am really grappling with this question that if you're an old legacy product brand, can you ever become a purpose brand? Sometimes that answer eludes me, but maybe once you think deep down, you will realize where the purpose brand is where the future lies. Thank you very much.